Hello Internet Sir Munchaps here, welcome back. We're in Lower Guk again, and with Midu, he's giving us even more of a tour. And it's time. It's time I prove myself. Time I show the world what I'm made of. And time... It's time for me to die. Ah yes, the sweet taste of death. 32,000 points of damage. That's just wonderful. Pain and suffering. Oh, you cruel and horrible bitch. God, that is so embarrassing. And that is literally like the first minutes where we got everything set up, and I was with was it Pecadora and Amidu there, and well, yeah, I face palmed. Very bad moment, and it really shouldn't have happened. I have safe fall. And that really isn't a very far drop. In fact, we went on later on to go ahead and jump down there to head to some other spot. That's just some weird fluke. And it would only happen to me, of course, when everyone's there. But anyway, I'm not going to go on and complain about that. I've got the nice Rivervale music to soothe my horrible pains and displeasures with this game. And I'm going to try to maintain happiness, as this music is basically a cure-all for depression, or maybe a cause for insanity. I don't know. It can get on your nerves after a while. After listening to that Rivervale music, you can start losing it. But we're gonna go ahead and change our pantaloons, our soiled pantaloons, and try to pretend like that didn't happen. Because, well, let's be honest, it didn't happen. These aren't the droids you're looking for. I'm waving my hand at the computer screen, and no one can see me. So, yeah, that's kind of pointless. Anyhow, this is Ass Up, or Ass Up I should say. I always used to think it was Ass Up because you have to climb a ladder in order to get up to the specific location, and that invariably makes you, when it forces you to look at your group mate's butt as you go up, and it's kind of an awkward situation. Stop checking out my ass. And that's basically what gnomes, halflings, and dwarves do all day. They just stare at people's butts, rear ends, and it's not the best point of view, but it's a point of view nonetheless. And anyway, it's called Ass Up because of the two main mobs that spawn here, the Ghoul Supplier and the Ghoul Assassin. Assassin, Supplier, Ass Sup. Yeah, I think you got it. I don't have to spell it out for you. A-S-S, yeah, I'll stop. Anyhow, the Ghoul drops Mask of Deception, which has unlimited charges of Dark Elf Illusion. It's one of the few masks out there that have an illusion. I believe the others are Ixar and Erudite. And I believe maybe even Velios has a few masks in store for us in the future, so we'll see. And also it drops Serrated Bone Dirk, which is pretty good rogue piercer. And then of course the other mob, the Ghoul Supplier, which is one level higher, level 36. And it drops a Light Burlap Sack, which is a pretty solid monk item. If you're down here, you definitely want to get one of those. 65% weight reduction, can't beat that. And it carries large items, so yeah, go ahead and get yourself one of these bad boys. It's a pretty common drop. We've had it drop here a couple times, and I already had one. Since it's lore, I can't have another, so we're just giving them out for free. And it also drops a thick banded belt, which is a little bit less common. 8 AC and plus 15 strength. I was really wanting one of those. It only weighs 0.5, so yeah, it didn't drop here though. Lots of light burlap sacks, and I think we even got a Mask of Deception at the end. Towards the end, I think one did end up dropping, but I was already on my way out. I didn't spend too long here. A couple hours, I think maybe 3, but all in all, I think other people were there much longer than I was. They got some pretty cool loot, some pretty fat loots, but yeah, I'm still managing, I'm still doing good. Haven't fallen to my death yet. Oh god, you know, that just really was pretty embarrassing and very characteristic of me. But anyhow, you'll notice that I've switched out my one-hand blunt weapons for a nice Staff of Battle. Now the interesting thing about this weapon in particular is that if you're near an ocean, the backdrop of it completely glitches out the weapon, so you won't see it. Segments of the staff will disappear in the waves completely. Kind of interesting, but still a solid weapon, and seeing as I don't have a flowing black silk sash, I guess that's just, well, it's be expected really. And I do miss quite a lot, but when you're in groups, it really helps to go ahead and just pull out a two-hand blunt, and especially if the mobs have a damage shield. You definitely want to have two-hand blunt for that. but it helps because soloing with two-hand blunt early on is just not very effective. If you miss a couple times, it really is going to mess up your day. And then, of course, feign death always seems to fail then, and you're going to have a hard time really effectively soloing. So, yeah, you can see I'm having some kind of ladder malfunction here. I can't quite get up there, but I finally got it up. That's what he said. So, yeah, I'm going to take out this wizard. Luckily, he didn't cast too much on me and take down my hit points. And these clerics in our group are using their DDs, direct damage, undead direct damage spells, which are really good. I kind of miss being able to have those spells because you really can do a lot of damage. Their main spells don't work very well, but those undead spells, they're really good. So yeah, I am tank again. I am the wonderful tank here. We've got a chamois there. He's doing the canny dance, the old canny dance that we all know and love. I don't know. And I guess the clerics can spot heal him occasionally, so he can continue to do that. Not that it's really necessary. I mean, we're really top heavy as far as heals are concerned. So it's going to be a lot of nuking, I guess. And I believe we pick up some more DPS later on. Midu here is showing me the other places to go ahead and pull mobs. And also down below there's a few. It's a little confusing. Not really. Once you get the hang of it, it takes about maybe, oh god, 2 or 3 full cycle pulls before you start realizing when things spawn, where you should be. It doesn't take too long. But, well, you gotta contend with casters, and that's not fun. So he's gonna go ahead and pull this room over here in the back, which I believe you'll see later on. I'm not too sure, but he's pulling it nonetheless. And I thought we had a train here, but he kind of meant to do this, I guess. 3 is not too bad if you have crowd control, and we do have quite a bit of crowd control, so nothing to fear. We're gonna go on and take out these froggies, and I'm still having problems with ladders. God, shoots and ladders was never my game, but I got up there nonetheless. And well, I don't know. Yeah, we're gonna focus on the caster first. That's right. I was like, I don't know if I'm actually gonna do the right thing here. Not the Spike Lee film, but actually do the right thing and hit the correct mob. Oh wait, no. What am I doing here? I'm going after the knight. Oh god. You gotta go after the caster first. That's what you have to do. Unless they mezzed, but I don't think we have a mezzer. Well, it's just all over the place. Let's just try to overlook this as well. And the wizard's over there in the corner, wailing on another member. God. Well, okay, now I'm targeted on the wizard. That's okay. Well, I'm saving face here a little bit. It took me a minute to get the right thing going, but I finally did. Anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and talk about a few other things that I'm still thinking about with this game, because I'm getting closer, very close to level 60, and it's upon us. It's getting there. A couple more levels. I think what, I'm 48 now, and I got to start thinking about other characters and all other sorts of things. And I'm still kind of up in the air about the Little People Guild I mentioned in the last episode, or is it the episode before that? Yeah, it was the episode before that. I don't know. Some people did mention, make suggestions for names, and one of them was pretty good. Kind of liked it. But right now, I'm focused on my monthly business and leveling up a couple other alts, so I can kind of have enough foot room to dance around, so to speak. I don't know if that makes any sense. I just pulled it out of a hat. But you know, to be able to solo effectively or have different group options, I want to be able to have high enough level characters so you're not watching me swing and miss at, well, just about any kind of pathetic mob out there. A bat or a large rat. Yeah, that would be embarrassing. Dying to a decaying skeleton with that horrible cackle. But yeah, that's my main focus right now, and I'm not even sure what the process is on this server, how one would go about creating a guild. Now I know on original Everquest, the Dinar server especially, as one of the only servers I was on, you had to have at least 10 people in order to start a guild. In order to form one up, you had to have yourself and 9 other people along for the ride. Basically enough to call yourself a cult without drinking the punch. So yeah, I don't know how I would go about doing that on this server, what the exact rules are, but it's definitely something I'm thinking about in the near future. There was actually a friend of mine, his dad made a guild on Tanar, or was going to. I'm not sure if he actually came through with it, but all of the characters, all of the members of the guild were going to have names that started with K-E-R. And so there was Kermit, I believe it was an Ixar. There was Curmudgeon, Kerplunk, Curten, Kirby, you name it. There was a lot of Kers out there. And they want to go ahead and have me create a character as well, so they have just enough to make a guild. And I was way too addicted to my character at the moment to bother. It was kind of rude, actually, now that I think about it. I should have definitely helped out, because it would have been kind of fun to have a separate character and do things with other people. I probably would have experienced more of the game. But, well, I can't travel back in time. I can't tell my younger self, hey, you, listen to me. I've got some pointers. Besides, they probably wouldn't listen anyway. I'd say, you don't know what you're talking about. Leave me alone. I'll call that girl and ask her out and get turned down. But, well, that's another subject altogether. The young... Oh, God, I don't even think I was a nerd. I think it was more like a geek. No, I think the correct term would be goober. Because a nerd implies that you have great knowledge, or at least some knowledge, and geek, you have to have some great computer skills, which anyone who knows me knows I do not. Still trying to configure my computer at the moment, trying to fix it and make adjustments so I can play Skyrim, as this is not exactly a gaming computer. I have to fiddle and faddle with it. And try to, and you could tell by that terminology I just used right there that I have no idea what I'm talking about as far as computers go. I'm next to computer illiterate, but I'm still learning, and I'm still learning how to play EQ, because I only got to level 20 with my original character, and I had tons of ults, so all this is pretty much new to me. I mean, I'm aware of all the different items, as I did hang out in EC a lot, and Gafay, and I'm aware of all the different classes and what they're supposed to be able to do. But when it comes to actually doing it, you know, being in the actual moment and in the heat of battle, I am pretty much inexperienced until now. Now I'm obviously better suited, better equipped to handle things, handle situations. I have a keen memory that reminds me, oh God, you don't want to do that. No. The last time you did that, it killed everyone, and they were none too pleased. So that is the idea behind this game. You don't want to die, and you have to group up with other people because you're reliant on them. For the most part, there are soloing classes, but even they aren't immune to being so efficient at soloing. You can't just get everything you want, but if you try sometimes, you get what you need. Oh, God. I'm just stuck with lyrics. I think I'm just going to keep a whole commentary of lyrics, perhaps. I don't know. But... well, I have Invis versus Undead on right now. I'm giving a gander about the area, seeing what I can pull. Not too sure what's expected of me, but Midu's cluing me in here and there. So I'm going to go ahead and take both of these mobs. Hopefully not get nuked in the process. It's kind of hard. If you negotiate your way around areas and walls, it'll interrupt the spell of a caster. Actually, they won't have line of sight on you to cast, but as you can see there, he just connected with 250 damage. Not good. It's kind of tricky to figure out, and it takes some time, some working. And I just got nuked again. That's nice. God. But at least I have a damage shield on. And I'm going after the wizard first this time. No one beats the whiz. Oh yeah? Watch this. As I shove my staff up your fruggity butt. I don't know what that was. That was like really bad role-playing, I guess. I don't know. There really aren't a lot of guilds on here that... actually, I don't even think there is one guild on here that is role-playing, which is kind of odd, because I remember way back in the day there were at least one or two guilds that were role-playing, or at least centered on the idea of role-playing. You know, they entertained it here and there. In fact, I remember this one guy, his name was Moo Man, and I know, there's a name for you. I thought he was hilarious at first, because with a name like Moo Man, and... I think he was a high elf caster, not too sure, but he was offering me items, and I thought, oh, that was great, you know, and this guy's gonna be funny and stuff. And I talked to him outside of the game. I think it was like on an AOL Instant Messenger, the days of AOL. Welcome, you've got mail, and all that nonsense, and dial up, that pain. But anyhow, he turned out to be a really massive role player. He was just very serious about it, very intent. I broke character, and he was not happy. He was just not happy. I like ruined his day. He was very serious and very stern. I remember he was like, "Excuse me, could you please stay in character?" And I was like, "Okay, sorry." "Excuse me, Sir Knight, you're ruining my gaming experience." In fact, he didn't even acknowledge that it was gaming experience. It was a strange moment. It was like it was reality. And I don't know, the only other time I had a moment like that was when I was throwing out the trash at an old apartment complex I lived at. And I remember the trash was pretty full, and so on the side there was this great big sword. It was made of wood, and it was carved perfectly, and had like this paint on it that was chipped, and it was somewhat ornate, but it was weird looking. I remember I picked it up, and I was kind of fiddling around with it, swinging it in the air, trying to hit some dragonflies or something. And then I looked over, and there was this milk crate over to the back of the dumpster, and I looked into it, and there was all these stacks and stacks of papers with drawings, and some of them were nude and very medieval. It was awkward. And there was lots of writings. Oh, I wish I would have kept this, because it would have been great for a psychology class. It was so detailed and interesting, but unsettling at the same time. I was like, what is this? And I remember I showed my mom. I was like, "Hey, Mom, look what I found in the trash." She's like, "What are you digging in the trash for?" I said, it's part of who I am. Don't judge me." And from that day on, we never talked. No, it was so weird, because there were like journals, and I can't really do it justice in describing it. There was catalogs of different informations, and I believe he was into, like, what is it, Oktoberfest, or whatever it's called. And it was all very medieval. There was drawings, there was measurements, there was details about battles and messages being passed on to different people, and everyone had pseudonyms, and it was just so strange and intriguing at the same time, because this is a real life person that obviously had to move out of his apartment and decided to leave his most valuable treasures behind: his sword and his logs. Captain's logs, Stargate 3215. I didn't really watch Star Trek. I'm sorry. If any of the Trekkies are out there, I apologize. I'm more of a Star Wars fan. Perhaps if Star Trek had Jedi Knights or bounty hunters, maybe they had bounty hunters, but they didn't have them as cool as Boba Fett. So yeah, that's their fault. Okay, the creators' fault, not mine. Okay, my immersion demands more. I need jetpacks and laser guns and lightsabers. Anyway, I'm rambling again. Anyhow, that was just really weird. I almost want to meet the person. Well, maybe not. Yeah, that'd be ill-advised. I don't know if you want to meet someone like that. It's kind of a catch-22. It would be interesting, but would it be safe? I mean, they might come at you with something, that you don't have an idea of what you're getting into, and once you do, then it's too late, because, well, they're within arm's reach. And I don't know. It's very interesting. I guess the thing that's really kind of curious about the whole situation is that a lot of people have untapped abilities. They just go by the wayside because of the way the societies are structured and whatnot. That a lot of times their hobbies become what they're really focused on, what they're obsessed with. Guys with ham radios in their garage that are sending messages they think to aliens or something. I don't know, but or those people that keep storage units in the back. What are those, storm shelters? Because they think there's going to be a nuclear fallout, and so they have all this stuff and they're preparing for it. And it's more like the preparation is like nesting. Like women have those nesting habits. They're getting ready and they're getting all preened and prepared. Not all of them, but there are those that are out there that are like that. And it's almost like the preparation is like a dance, and it's much more important than even the outcome. There's no A to B pilgrimage. It's just what's going on now, if that makes any sense. And so that's what I'm trying to do in Everquest. There we go. See, look at that. I tied everything together. I'm living in the now. I'm that obsessed guy with a milk crate of information and drawings that will creep the hell out of you if you only knew. And I have a wooden sword, and I'm pregnant, and I'm nesting. God, I don't know where I'm going with this. And yeah, I believe I've officially ruined this commentary with absolutely nonsensical gibberish. And well, it was supposed to have an idea behind it, a theme. I guess the theme would be go with your passions, go with what most motivates you. And for me, that's video games. Not just video games, but a lot of things that are creative, and video games are kind of creative. They're very immersive, and they allow your imagination to run wild. You can kind of live in a fantasy and still have to live in the real world. You don't have entire escapism. I don't think full-on escapism is healthy, but it's always good to kind of separate yourself from reality here and there, to have an adjusted perception of what you're doing with your life. And of course, with this game, your life is well, it's on hold. I lost so much sleep to this game, I can't even tell you, but I still love it nonetheless. There's just something about this game. I was talking to a few other people about other games in during the same time that Everquest came out. Dark Ages of Camelot, WoW came a little bit later, I believe. I'm not sure. I think Everquest was first, and then WoW followed up, and then it became pretty popular, and the war between the EQ players and the WoW players began. But yeah, we were talking about those games and how none of them really had the same impact, at least we felt. We have a biased opinion, but that none of them had the same impact that Everquest had, because I think with Everquest there was more risk versus reward. You definitely got your rewards, but everyone was kind of vying to have what they really wanted to progress their character, and it took a lot of work and a lot of focus, and it could be undone very quickly. It's very much one step up, two steps back. That is, if you were to die, you would lose a lot of experience. And, well, actually, that brings up a funny thought that I had quite a while ago. I always wondered if ever in EverQuest history there was a time where somebody was able to go from level 1 to 60 with the help of an escort service, or, well, not that kind of escort service, with the help of friends without dying once. And I don't know, I'm pretty skeptical. I don't think it happened. As inventive as people are, I don't think it happened. It's pretty unlikely. Anyhow, I'm done rambling. Thank you all for listening to my therapy session. I'm going to get up off this couch and move on. And we're going to head to City of Mist next, and then on to South Corona again for a named mob that shall not be named. Yeah, so long, guys.